The Boston Bruins have some big things coming next season, including Jeremey Swayman's new contract, his first full year as a starter, as well as Justin Brazeau, and what the staff of this team wants to do with him. I'm going to be talking about all of this stuff, as well as the signing in the AHL, which has quite the impact on the future of this team here in this video. And like I said, all of this has a lot of impact on what we're going to see next season, from the goaltending standpoint, from the development in the AHL standpoint, from the offensive standpoint. I'm going to be talking about all of this, as I said here in this video. Before we get into it, though, we know 75% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button. Join me here on this channel as we cover everything that the Boston Bruins has to offer in this offseason and heading into a very important, like I said, next regular season. But let's get into our first topic here, which is going to be discussing Justin Brazeau, what his role is going to be next season, and how this season really is going to be a telltale season for him for the future of his career. And I'm very excited for this season from Justin Brazeau's standpoint. We've seen him come up last year in February, really show that he can play at the NHL level immediately. His first game, we've seen the impact he had, and heading into the playoffs, although he was coming off an injury, still had a major impact on what we had seen. So I'm going to pull up this little first bit from the hockey news here, kind of discussing what we're going to see and what his role may be next season. It says, looking at the Bruins' current lineup, there's a chance that Brazeau could earn a more significant role next season. The Bruins notably lost plenty of depth on the wing this offseason, as players like Jake DeBrusk, Danton, Heinen, Pat Maroon, and the depth Oscar Steen have found new homes. James Van Riemsdyk was also not brought back and still remains a free agent. But as I've mentioned in just about every video, I still think that there's a slim chance that he could be brought back. But with this, Brazeau is among many right-wingers who should be considered for a spot in the Bruins' middle six next season. In addition, he should get more reps on the power play, as he gets the potential to be an impactful net front presence. And not even the potential to, he already is a major net front presence. One thing the Bruins absolutely want, especially with a lot of wingers that can shoot the puck, a lot of centers that are skillful and can kind of work the puck with just a big guy like Justin Brazeau in front of the net. And that would be the perfect scenario for him on the power play. The power play needs to get a bit better. That's one thing we kind of seen a bit last year. Want to see that get just a slight bit better, and that starts with net front presence. But as you've seen there, depth on the wingers just really isn't there on the Bruins anymore. And that's going to be one thing that they're going to want to work on. And from what we know from the offensive standpoint right now, is that Brazeau could potentially be that second-line winger if there is not another free agency signing, which at this point, with Swayman still not signed, but the money they have, I don't know how possible or how likely it is that we sign another winger. You know, I'm going to kind of leave that as, right now, we're not. But I would love to see Justin Brazeau start the season as that second-line right winger. I want to see him get more reps with some better and more skilled players, giving the opportunity to be a more consistent everyday player, because I think Justin Brazeau's potential is absolutely insane. I've seen him play here down in the ECHL with the Newfoundland Growlers, and from that standpoint, from what we've seen from him, he is an incredible player, and I want to see him be a successful NHL at the NHL level, and he has every ability and every facility to be able to do this and to make that happen. 60 goals in the OHL as well, so if that can translate as well as being that big bodied yet, and, you know, slowly work into a more offensive game, I can see Brazeau's game being levels and levels above what it was last season. So that's what I'm really hoping to see, is if we could put him on the second line right wing. Maybe even if he does start there at the third line right wing, I'm okay with that. But I do want to see him go up at least to the second line next year for a good portion of it. Now, obviously, if he does start out well, that's the big part. Right now, we still don't know, and we still won't know until the season starts, but from what we've seen last season, from what we've seen last going off in the playoffs, I see a lot of potential in him, and I want to see him become a big part of this Bruins team. So it's only a matter of time until we find out, but still, we do have to wait on that. But let's move over to our second topic here of this video, which is Jeremey Swayman is the early Vezina favorite. And this is kind of weird for me, you know, not because Jeremey Swayman is not a good goalie. He's absolutely a good goalie, and he can absolutely win the Vezina this season. That's after what we've seen last season, what we've seen in the playoffs. He's at a different level from what we've seen before with Jeremey Swayman, but the odds makers and the sports books putting him as the Vezina favorite with a couple of reasons. First of all, him not being signed yet. That is going to happen. You know, that's still in the cards. That's going to happen. Just a matter of when. No arbitration. The teams just are going to look to get the best deal for themselves, and Jeremey Swayman and his agent are going to get the best deal for them. So it really just is a matter of negotiation from those two parties. But the other factor is we know Jeremey Swayman really hasn't played a full season as a starter yet. He's only been 44 games, I believe, at a starting, or 44 games in his career starting. So not having that full season as a starter yet really just makes me wonder what he's going to look like at that point. You know, once he gets up to 40 games started, a lot earlier than it was last season. I wonder what he's going to be like, how he's going to be feeling. And from what we see in the playoffs, though, last season, you know, playing all but 2 games, I still absolutely feel confident that he's going to be great, he's going to be fine, and everything is going to translate well into being a full-time starter. But, you know, once we get to the playoff time as well, how is it going to work from there? And that really is a big thing. But I will pull up the sportsbooks right now, what we have from there. DraftKings, FanDuel, and Sports Interaction all have Jeremey Swayman tied with Igor Shesterkin at plus 600, as well as Connor Hellebuck with FanDuel at plus 600 as well. But the odds are there. That's certainly something that we know. We can see him at this level right away, and we're going to see him at that level to start the season at least. But in the back of my mind, I'm still just a tiny bit cautious about how he's going to come out in the later half of the season, the second half, and the playoffs. Simply because, you know, the split time with Linus Ullmark certainly helped the rest of the body, make you feel good going into a playoffs and late scenario. I shouldn't say why, a big part of why the Bruins had the success they had over the past few seasons. So, you know, like I said, I'm still fully on board that he absolutely can win the Vezina. Probably is one of my favorites. You know, some very good goalies around the NHL, but it all depends on how he feels, how he comes out here in the later half of this season. So let me know what you think about that, as well as what you think about that little hesitancy I have. Do you think that he's going to come out in the second half the same he did in the first, or what's going on with that? What do you think? But let's head over to our final topic here of this video, which is the Bruins make an impact minor league signing. And, you know, nothing here super big, but it does have a very big impact on what we're going to see in the AHL this season and how the development is going to work out. This does come from the Bruins themselves. Signed Marc McLaughlin to a 1-year, 2-way extension, the cap hit of $775K. The assistant captain of the AHL played a full season down there in this year. Really is a big leader on that AHL franchise, as well as a great option for a call-up if need be. And, you know, the real signing, the point of that is to keep him with that development. He's a very good leader in the AHL, like I said. And with the influx that we're going to see of a lot of young Bruins players coming up over this season, at least, and, you know, from more to come, they're going to need some leadership there. They're going to need some mentorship. And perfect example there. The Bruins want to bring him back, but, you know, not going to have too much of an impact in the NHL here this season. But, you know, let me know what you think about all of these topics here. A lot of stuff here. And I do have one more screenshot that I forgot to pull up while talking about Jeremey Swayman. 44 games played at the most in a season, which was 23-24. Last season, and 12 in the playoffs. So coming out in 56 games, although still not every day, really goes to show not all of that, you know, full season potential, full season, you know, play is not there. But that's all I got here in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, but hit the sub button as well. We're closing in on 3.2, which is pretty awesome. But, you know, like I said, let me know what you think of all of these topics here. We have a lot of stuff regarding next season coming up, a lot of stuff that we're getting a bit of knowledge on from a staff standpoint as well. But yeah, like I said, that's all I got here in this video. If you did enjoy, like, sub. But I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.